All right, so let's get started. Welcome to today's webinar. We are going to talk about living light through menopause. So I will be sharing a 5-step process for perimenopausal and menopausal women to safely and permanently lose 15 to 30 pounds in 6 weeks without any pills or planks or starving yourself. So if you're just joining me now, I would love for you in the chat to let me know where you're from, what have you tried to do to lose weight, and if you have any pressing questions, and I'll try and answer those along the way. So I'm just going to start by introducing myself. For those who don't know me, my name is Dora. And first and foremost, I'm a mom of twins. I have twin 10-year-old girls. And professionally, I call myself an unconventional pharmacist. So I've been a pharmacist for over 20 years now. And in the last few years, I kind of transitioned my practice to becoming a functional medicine practitioner and nutritionist. I went back to school to do nutrition. I'm a licensed nutritionist, and my focus now primarily is on functional medicine. So if for those of you who don't know what functional medicine is, instead of just throwing drugs at problems and covering up symptoms, I help people to look at and discover the root cause of their illnesses or their symptoms and try and fix it from the root instead of just hiding things and giving drugs for symptoms. So primarily we do that through nutrition, lifestyle, supplements, things like that. So really holistic view of medicine and health. And I'm also an autoimmune warrior. I live with a very rare autoimmune disease. So I'm really happy to be here with you. And also, I'm kind of in perimenopause. I've just started my perimenopausal journey. So I feel your pain, but I'm also determined to make this phase of my life the best it can be, and I want to help you do the same. And just a little bit about my practice. My practice is Dr. Dora Nutrition and Wellness. And you'll have to forgive me. This is my Google profile, and I just started it, so I don't have too many reviews on there. But suffice to say, I've been doing this for a few years, and I've worked with many clients on a variety of health conditions, including metabolic health, weight loss, autoimmune disease, gut health, fatigue, etc. And I'm happy to be here to hopefully help you learn something. So I really want you to get the most from today's session. So ideally, if you can, remove any distractions you might have, turn off your cell phone or silence it. Try not to take any emails or calls or check social media while we're on this call today. Of course, take any notes you need to help you remember and learn from today's session. Feel free to ask questions in the chat or even put your hand up, and if I have time, I can stop and answer any questions you might have. And stay tuned until the end of the session for your very special gift. And just to lighten the mood a little bit, I don't know if anyone's felt this way. I've been dieting a month, and the cats shed more weight than I have. All right, so here's what you're going to learn today in this session. So you're going to learn the 5 steps that are in my program of weight loss and metabolic reset. And you'll see how Sheila here, as client, she says that this program really works. She's lost 23 pounds in 6 weeks, and she's tried lots of other styles of eating, and she never loses a pound. So this is phenomenal for her. You'll also find out how this client says, I'm happy to say that other than the pounds and inches I've already lost, my hips and knees are no longer sore, my gait is better, blood pressure is low, sleeping better, and less snoring. You'll also see how this client, SP, says he's doing great, feeling good, no more bloating, he's chewing his food more, he has more energy, and clothes are getting more loose. So I want this for you. And so in this session, we're going to talk about some of the components of our Living Light Reset program and teach you some of the things that are in our program to help you lose weight as well. So this is kind of my philosophy in health and wellness. So I really believe that the doctor of the future is the patient, is you. So really, your doctor is meant to be your guide towards optimal health. And really, nothing fixes you better than your own body. You just need to support it and nurture it and teach it sometimes to to be able to fix your body if there's anything wrong. But really, your body knows what to do. You just have to give it the right inputs. And health starts at home. So health, nutrition is a big piece of health, lifestyle, exercise, your social atmosphere, your relationships. So everything starts at home. It doesn't start in the doctor's office. It doesn't start in the hospital. It really starts at home. And my philosophy is really skills over pills. I am a pharmacist, and there is a place for medications, definitely, and there's times when we really need it. But if we can learn to, again, nurture your body and give it the inputs it needs to thrive and give you the skills to do this for the rest of your life, hopefully we can prevent the need for any of these pills. So my promise to you tonight in this session is I'm going to teach you a powerful 5-step framework that's specifically designed to help you lose 15 to 30 pounds and also get good quality sleep, have more energy, and again, without any pills or injections or intense exercising in just 6 to 10 weeks. And you will also walk away with, number one, you'll have clarity. So you'll learn why you're gaining weight in this period of life. So there's a lot of stuff going on in our bodies right now, and we're going to kind of talk about what's going on and why it's more difficult to lose weight. Number two, you'll have more certainty as to what to do next. So what are the next steps to help you lose the stubborn weight and to help you feel better overall and reduce symptoms? And number three, I'm hoping that you'll walk away with a confidence, knowing that you have a greater level of self-awareness on how to heal. All right, so I just want to make sure that you are in the right place. So you are in the right place. If you are perimenopausal or menopausal and you're looking to lose 10 pounds or more and you're not sure how to lose that stubborn weight, that's me and that's you. You're in the right place. Number two, if you're having poor quality sleep, joint pains, high blood pressure, digestive issues, and you're really ready to get rid of those and have boundless energy through the day, then you're in the right place. You're also in the right place if you feel like you've already tried a lot of things and you just can't get that stubborn weight off. You're in the right place. And lastly, you're in the right place if you're ready to put an end to all your symptoms so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life and do all the things that you want to do as you move into this next phase of your life. So whatever your reason for joining me here is, I've got you. And I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you're here to learn and that you want to improve yourself. So let's get started talking about what is perimenopause or menopause. So technically, menopause is that stage in life where it's exactly a year that you have not had a menstrual period. So if you had your period December 1st, and then the following year, December 1st, you've had no period in between, then you're officially into menopause and you're postmenopausal. Perimenopause, on the other hand, is a little bit trickier. There's no great test to tell if you're in perimenopause. In menopause, sometimes if you do some blood testing, you can see that you're in menopause or not based on your hormone levels, but perimenopause is a little bit more vague. You can't really tell. So it's basically just based on your age and really just symptoms. So typically, perimenopause can start around age 37, 38. And there's an endocrinologist in Canada who says that if you have at least 3 of these symptoms, then you're probably or definitely in perimenopause. So if your age is around 37, 38 or higher, and you have at least 3 of a new onset of heavier or longer flows with your period, if your menstrual cycles have started to become shorter, if you notice that you get new, sore, swollen, or lumpy breasts, if you're finding that you're waking up in the middle of the night and that's something new for you, increased menstrual cramps. So that's definitely my case. I'm finding that these last few cycles have been really intensely painful. And that's something that's really new for me. Some people might get premenstrual night sweats. So maybe not the full-on hot flashes, but just night sweats in that PMS, premenstrual period. Some women might have new or more headaches or migraines, or you might have new or more premenstrual mood swings. And the last thing is weight changes without changing any exercise or eating. So these are kind of clues that you're probably in perimenopause if you have those. And just looking at what happens hormone-wise, so this graph shows the levels of your sex hormones. So estradiol or estrogen is in the red, and progesterone is in the green. So you'll see the majority of your life, you're in your reproductive phase, and sort of like up and down through your cycles. It's nice and high. And then as you hit perimenopause, things start to decrease. So you might get a little boost of an increase in estrogen at the beginning as your body's sort of like last-ditch efforts pumping out the sex hormones, but over time it gradually decreases. And likewise, the progesterone is more of a big decrease, and then you pretty much have nothing towards the end when you're in menopause. And the interesting thing is that these sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, they're not only just for reproductive health. You actually have receptors all over your body for these sex hormones. So in your brain, in your bones, in your muscles, they're everywhere, which is why we have such a wide variety of symptoms. So the hot flashes, mood changes, sleep problems, increased risk of bone fractures, all these things are happening because we have all these receptors in places all over the body. So when those hormones have reduced in perimenopause and menopause, then we get all these symptoms. Okay, so zoning in more specifically to what happens to progesterone in perimenopause. So again, progesterone starts to decline. And something that's really interesting about progesterone is that it destabilizes what we call our HPA axis. So that's the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis. And this is our main stress response system. So from our brain, we have the hypothalamus and the pituitary glands, and to the adrenal glands. This is what's activated when there's any sort of stress. So when progesterone declines, this kind of destabilizes that axis and causes cortisol to increase. So cortisol is our main stress hormone. So when your body is under stress, whether it be physical stress or emotional stress, cortisol tends to rise. And when cortisol rises, our blood sugars also rise because, for example, if you're stressed because you're trying to run away from a lion, your blood sugar will increase so that you have more energy to run away. So as our progesterone declines with perimenopause and menopause, cortisol increases, but so does our blood sugar. And also, this decline in progesterone really can adversely affect our sleep. So a lot of women will start having sleep issues and insomnia, which then also causes more stress and more cortisol and more blood sugar dysregulation. And so when blood sugar increases, that increases the risk of things like diabetes. Blood sugars are high, but also when blood sugars are too high, there's more inflammation in your body, and your body tends to shuttle that extra blood sugar into fat. So you tend to hold on to fat much more if your blood sugars are high. And then zoning more into estrogen in perimenopause. So again, initially estrogen levels will increase, but then they also steadily decline. And interestingly, in regards to metabolic health, estrogen is very important for keeping insulin sensitivity and maintaining a healthy metabolic rate. So insulin is the hormone that's released when your blood sugar does go up. So when you have some carbohydrates or sugar, your blood sugar will go up, and then insulin is pumped out of your pancreas to help drive that blood sugar out of the blood. So estrogen plays a role in that process. And estrogen is also a natural appetite suppressant. So as you can see, when estrogen starts to go down, your insulin doesn't work as well anymore, your blood sugars go up, and then you tend to be more hungry because you've lost that natural appetite suppressant. And because of all of this, we start to gain weight, especially around our belly, which this is what we call visceral fat. And it's this fat around the belly that kind of sits around our internal organs and is a very inflammatory type of fat. And this is the type of fat that is associated with chronic diseases, particularly heart disease and diabetes. So it's really important for us to prevent and reduce that visceral fat around the belly. Another thing that happens around perimenopause and menopause is that your muscle mass decreases by about 1% every year. starting at age 40. And muscle is really important, not just for strength, but it's a sponge for that excess sugar. So when you do have sugar in your blood, primarily that sugar will go into the muscles. So if you have nice, strong, active muscles, that's where your blood sugar is going to go. So a lot of times, if for my clients, if I know that they've had really big meals, lots of carbs, I'll tell them just do a few weights, do some squats, do some exercises, and that'll drive that blood sugar into the muscles so that you don't have these spikes in blood sugar. So it's really important at this time of our lives to really build up our muscles, make sure that we're getting enough protein that our muscles stay strong so that it can be a sponge for that excess sugar. Okay, so again, like I said, there's an estrogen receptor on every cell in your body. So declining estrogen can result in a whole host of symptoms. So obviously changes in your menstrual cycle, hot flashes, night sweats, changes in your mood, so depression, anxiety, irritability, sleep disturbances, fatigue, sexual changes, bloating or digestive issues, an increase in allergy symptoms, migraines, brain fog, memory issues. Some people actually get dizziness or tingling in the arms and legs, or I've heard of people getting like itchy ears, joint pain, muscle aches, osteoporosis, heart palpitations, dry, itchy skin, hair loss, lots of things. So this program, the Living Light Reset, won't necessarily help prevent all of these symptoms, but we're going to help you optimize your health and support your metabolic health so that we can get into menopause with as minimal symptoms as possible and as healthy as we can so that we can be in the best phase of our lives. Okay, but then now I do want to address this. So what about these new wonder drugs? So unless you've been under a rock, you've probably heard of these new injectable drugs. And there's a whole bunch of them now. The most popular ones are Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, and these are these new wonder drugs that you inject once a week. Primarily, like it depends on the drug itself, but there's been really quite impressive weight loss with these medications. And as a pharmacist, it is very impressive. So I've never seen any medication that can cause this amount of weight loss in my whole 20 plus years of my career as a pharmacist. So I am very impressed. And for some people, this can be the right route. And they have been around, I'd say probably 10, 15 years. They've been around as medications for diabetes, so treating high blood sugar, but I guess as a side effect, they found that it also causes weight loss. So now the drug companies are cashing in on this new indication for weight loss. And there's also now so many studies that the drug companies are coming out that it's great for not just diabetes and weight loss, but reducing risk of heart disease or cardiac events like heart attacks, and I think reducing fatty liver. So there's all these benefits of the medications, and I'm not discounting them, but I'm also a pharmacist again, and I do know that there are downsides to these medications. So I'm going to go into those just a little bit. And again, not to say that like this is definitely good for some people, but if you're here and you're looking for the natural solution and teaching your own body to lose weight and thrive, then you're probably not on this bandwagon either. Okay, so just a quick summary of what these medications do. Sorry, it's really quite technical here, but basically in your intestinal tract, so these are the cells that are lining the inside of your intestinal tract. Sorry, I'm just going to turn that off. So inside your intestinal tract, we have all these little cells that line the inside. So whenever you eat food and you absorb the nutrients, so things like proteins, lipids or fats, electrolytes, carbohydrates, etc., these cells can detect these nutrients. And these L cells in the intestinal tract specifically, when they detect these nutrients, they pump out this hormone called GLP-1. And GLP-1 does a whole bunch of things, but one of the primary things does is that when GLP-1 is released, it realizes, okay, I've got all these nutrients. I can slow down the gastric emptying and slow down digestion and cause the feeling of fullness so that I'll stop eating. So what these new medications do is they're synthetic analogs of this GLP-1. So typically GLP-1 naturally lasts for minutes. So your intestinal L cells release them, they last for a few minutes, and then they disappear. But the medications are formulated to be synthetic, and they last for a long time and at much higher doses than naturally made. So you inject the medication and you'll, like, a lot of people will complain about the side effects, and a lot of it is because your stomach is not emptying as fast, your digestive system kind of slows down, you feel more full. A lot of people don't even feel hungry anymore. You lose all your cravings, and that's a big part of the mechanism of these medications. So side effects, health risks of Ozempic. So all medications do have side effects. So this is just a list of some of the side effects that have been associated with Ozempic. And this was pulled from King Law, who I think is actually doing a class action suit against them, which is where the slide is from, but has been associated with suicidal thoughts, vision loss, vomiting, nausea, gallstones, constipation, diarrhea, thyroid cancer, gastroparesis, liver failure, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of side effects. So people, like, there are no really long-term side effects. Sorry, we don't know what the side effects are long-term. So they're fairly new medications. So people start on these to lose weight, but then how long do we stay on them? Do we stay on them the rest of our lives? What happens with all these side effects? So we really need to be cautious. And then just looking at the timeline for weight loss. So for a 200-pound female or a 300-pound male, the time to lose about 10 to 15% of body weight on the Ozempic or Wegovy, the maximum weight loss is about 12 months it takes, versus a client that goes through our Living Light Reset program, it only takes 6 or 10 weeks to lose that much amount of weight. Mounjaro is one of the newer ones. It's a dual mechanism GLP-1 inhibitor agonist, and it's 6 to 9 months, a little bit faster. And then metformin, it's not really used for weight loss, but it's another type of diabetes drug, which has a side effect of weight loss, but it takes much longer, 3 years, to lose this 10 to 15% of body weight. So really, it's very comparable to doing a Living Light Reset program, which doesn't have all the same side effects. I'm teaching you skills that you can carry on for the rest of your life and share with your family and your friends. And you also get the same amount of weight loss. So I don't know. To me, I would personally like to go this way. And then the other thing is, gosh, these medications are really expensive, especially in the US. This article just talks about how a month-long supply of Ozempic in the US is $936. It's a little bit lower in other countries, like $169 in Japan. But again, not only does there risk of side effects, but there's also a cost. And this is just a picture of my mentor, Sachin Patel, and one of the co-authors of this book called Good Energy. His name is Callie Means, but he had an interesting quote. He said that no drug has ever lowered the incidence of the very problem it's trying to treat. Meaning, we have all these amazing drugs, not just for losing weight, but for blood pressure, for diabetes, for heart disease, for cholesterol. We have all these drugs, but yet the rate of high blood pressure, rate of cholesterol just continues to climb. So what's going on? Like, there's an issue with big pharma. There's lots of politics. There's issues with our food system. So just saying. Drugs. Anyways, okay. So enough of that. Let's get into the 5 steps. So again, these 5 steps are just a part of the Living Light Reset program. In our program, we talk about a lot more in addition to these, but these are, I think, our five main steps within our program. So we're going to go through these together, okay? So step number 1 is regulate your nervous system. So just a quick biology lesson for those who aren't aware. So this is just like a schematic diagram of our nervous system. And there's 2 main parts of the nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. So sympathetic nervous system is the part of the nervous system that's activated when you're in danger. So again, if you were running away from a lion, or you're under a lot of stress and you have to meet some deadlines at work, or whatever the stress is, if your body is stressed, there's something going on in your life that's stressful, this activates your sympathetic system, sympathetic nervous system. So basically, your body is shifted into fight, flight, and freeze. So instead of like slowing down and digesting your food, reproduction, etc., it's really just focused on staying alive. So you'll see you have dilated pupils, your blood pressure will start to go up, your digestion goes down because again, you're not focusing on digesting, you're focusing on running away from the lion. So your gastric acid production goes down, your food breakdown goes down, gallbladder function goes down, your adrenals, which is your stress cortisol, goes way up because we need that stress hormone. When that happens, again, your blood pressure goes up, your urination, your kidneys don't work as well because you don't have time to stop and pee, right? And again, reproduction kind of shuts down because when you're trying to fight for your life, you're not focusing on reproducing. So that's your sympathetic. Parasympathetic is when you're actually relaxed, when your body doesn't feel under stress. So that's when your body feels calm enough to like slow down, digest your food, spend time reproducing itself. So your blood pressure goes down, your lungs and your breathing is kind of calm, your stomach is increasing the gastric acid production so that you digest your food, your gallbladder, your liver, your pancreas are all properly pumping out digestive juices so that you're absorbing and digesting your food properly. Your cortisol levels go down, your kidneys are working, and your reproductive organs are working. So you're appropriately pumping out your sex hormones the way it should be. So ideally, we really want to stay the majority in our lives in the parasympathetic. Okay, now, did you know, so this is a very interesting fact, for every 10 pounds of body fat that you lose, where do you think that goes? So if we're losing weight, where does this body weight actually go? Like when we don't walk around with chunks of fat falling off our bodies, right? Where does it actually go? So most of it actually comes out in our breath. So let me say that again. Sorry, I kind of messed it up. For every 10 pounds of body fat that you lose, 8.5 of those pounds are coming through your breath. And the rest of it, the 1.5 pounds, are actually water. So it comes out through your kidneys or your sweat, but most of it's through your breath, which is really important because then you know that you need to be breathing properly so that we can actually release the fat. And interestingly enough, this is a study just asking the same questions of medical professionals. So family doctors, dietitians, personal trainers ask the same questions. Do you know where the fat goes? And most people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know where it goes. They thought it comes out as energy or heat or in the poop, etc. But surprisingly, yes. So your fat is actually released mostly in the form of CO2, which is in your breath, and the rest is into water. So it's really important to optimize your breath. So when you are breathing correctly and optimally, that's going to set your nervous system into the right tone. And actually, thinking about, so the reason I talked about the nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic, is that you can easily use your breathing, your breath, as a steering wheel to shift yourself from sympathetic, stressful nervous system to the parasympathetic. So often, like you've probably heard of meditation or people trying to do deep breathing exercises. Those are easy ways to switch your body into parasympathetic so that you can focus on those things that your body needs to thrive. And also to support your metabolism and your weight loss. So something just to be very mindful of is just like making sure that you're breathing through your nose most of the time. If you think about it, if you're breathing through your mouth, from a bacteria point of view, your mouth is the dirtiest, well, one of the dirtiest parts of your body. So when you're breathing that in, breathing air from your mouth, it's also bringing in all this bacteria that then your body now has to fight off and clean up, versus it's much cleaner inside the nose. So just making sure that you're breathing through your nose most of the time is very important. And one of the ways you can do that is, so take your tongue, the tip of your tongue, to the back of your two front teeth, just like that. And just keep your tongue comfortably resting behind the top of your two front teeth. And that'll just automatically switch you into nose breathing naturally. And then just make sure you breathe in to a count of 6 seconds and breathe out to a count of 6 seconds. Just deep, long breath in, and especially long breath out. It's that breath out really that generally switches you to the parasympathetic. So really important to know how to control your breath and use your nose to breathe as much as possible, especially at nighttime. A lot of people, they don't realize that they're mouth breathers at nighttime, and that can really impact your sleep. So important to breathe properly. Another point to know is that all dysfunction ties back to stress. So if you're ever wondering what the root of the dysfunction is in your body is, whether you have heart disease or diabetes or autoimmune disease or headaches or joint pain, whatever it is, it's related to inflammation and stress. And sometimes the inflammation can be subtle. So things like high blood pressure, you can't actually feel it. It's very subtle, but there is inflammation going on because your blood pressure is high. And stress can really be physical stress, whether it be pain or it's trauma, something happening physically, but it can also be emotional stress as well. Yeah, so all dysfunction ties back to stress. So breathing and bringing your body back to that parasympathetic, calm state of nervous system really helps to reduce this dysfunction. So a large part of our program is to help you shift into parasympathetic, reduce some of that stress, improve your breathing, and in turn, optimize your weight loss, your metabolic health, and all these symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. Okay, and right now I just want to introduce you to a client, Amanda. She was struggling with difficulty losing weight. She's a financial advisor. She's a body type A, and we'll talk about the body types in a little bit, just a little bit later. And she was struggling with weight gain, poor sleep, low energy, joint pain, and she had already been yo-yo dieting and had an unhealthy relationship with food and tried so many programs in the past. And she was really looking for something sustainable that would teach her how to be healthy. So she found the Living Light Reset and released 25 pounds in 6 weeks. Her energy's improved, her sleep's improved, she's less inflamed, no more joint pain, her hormones are more balanced, and more importantly, she had more awareness around her body and her food choices. So you can see the big difference in her body composition. Okay, and then she said she's been feeling awesome. She can even eat foods that cause inflammation, but it reduces very quickly when she gets back to her healthy foods. She doesn't have cravings or miss any foods, so she looks very good. Okay, so step 2 of our process is nutrient density and eating windows. So part of our program is we do suggest that you compress your eating window. So first of all, avoiding eating at least 3 hours before bedtime is really important, because if you go to bed and your body's busy just digesting and absorbing your food while you sleep, it doesn't have time to be resting and repairing your brain and building your brain. So it's busy eating. So really you want to try and not eat close to bedtime, at least 3 hours before bedtime. You want to finish your last meal. And then just this concept of time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting is a very powerful way to repair and regenerate and recoup your body. So this has been done in a lot of cultures for a long time. Just having this longer period of time where you're not eating any food and allowing your body to not worry about digestion and just to start cleaning up and taking care of the body is really important. So that's why we do incorporate intermittent fasting. And then because you're eating in a shorter time frame, typically 2 meals a day, plus snacks if absolutely necessary. It also will probably save you a bit of money because you're not constantly snacking and buying a ton of food to feed your cravings. So compressing your eating window is a really great strategy for improving your metabolic health. But we do want to emphasize that you eat whole foods as much as possible. So we really want you to eat quality foods, not junk food, not tons of sugars, processed foods. We want to have you eating like quality proteins, lean proteins, lots of veggies, lots of different colors, and organic as much as possible. So this is just a collection of meals that our clients have made. So I don't know about you, but these look delicious to me. They're colorful, they're filling. Like when I did the program, I was actually eating a heck of a lot more than I would normally eat, and I was very satisfied. So, and that was very surprising for me. And actually, I would say most of my clients who come to me for weight loss have the opposite problem. They're actually not eating enough. And that's why they're actually having problems losing weight because their body is not getting the nutrients it actually needs to thrive. So it holds on to everything, holds on tight to the fat because it feels in danger. Is not getting enough nutrients. So we actually switch that, make sure that you are eating lots of nutritious, nourishing food to support your body. And it's also anti-inflammatory. So you're not going to see any processed foods, high carbohydrate foods. And just a point about calories, the type of calories, the nutrient density. So you'll see this bowl of chips and this apple are roughly around the same calories, but obviously the nutrition quality, nutrient density is very different. This is pretty much empty calories plus inflammatory foods versus the apple has nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber, feeds your microbiome. This actually damages your microbiome. So the beneficial bacteria in your gut. So it's very important in our program that we're eating natural, nutrient-dense foods. And we also want to make sure that your blood sugar is nice and balanced. Because like I said before, when you have blood sugar spikes or if your blood sugar is chronically high, it's very inflammatory. It can negatively impact your immune system and it causes weight gain. So the style of eating that we promote really balances your blood sugar. It optimizes your insulin response, again, anti-inflammatory. So a lot of women will at first lose a lot of water weight that's from inflammation. And then once that water weight is gone, we then tap into fat loss. And we do prioritize protein and fiber. So if you've also been on social media and following any of the menopause gurus or doctors, you'll know that they always say, make sure you get enough protein and make sure you get enough fiber. And in our program, we definitely prioritize protein and fiber in all of your meals. And again, intermittent fasting also helps the body enter ketosis and balance the blood sugar and burn fat more efficiently. So here's Dana. She was also struggling with difficulty losing weight. She's 62 years old and retired, postmenopause, complaining of inflammation, digestive issues, low energy, and having trouble eating healthy. She was always snacking in the afternoons. And again, she had already tried many programs in the past and she wanted to learn how to do something that'll last long term and how to be healthy. And she released 25 pounds in 6 weeks. Her energy improved, sleep improved. Wait a second. I'm sorry. I've repeated my slides. This is not the right verbiage. Anyways, this is Dana, her picture. And here's her before and after. And this is her quote from us. So the Metabolic Reset Program, Living Light, has been a blessing for me. She says, I've tried many programs to lose weight, but this is the first that puts healthy eating as well as healthy mindset, better sleep, and movement habits and more into one package to make it a lifelong change. I've released 25 pounds. I sleep better. I have much more energy. So as you can see, her body composition has improved. She's lost a lot of weight. But it's the holistic approach, right? We also focus on your sleep and your energy and your mindset and movement. That again, you carry these habits with you for the rest of your life. Okay, so number 3, sleep and circadian rhythm is very important. And I think sleep is arguably even more important than diet and exercise because it has such a big impact on your digestion. And I will talk about it a little bit more. So in this graph, you'll see the sunshine. So our sleep cycles are controlled by our exposure to sunlight. So in the morning, when the sun is rising, your cortisol, again, that's your stress hormone, it naturally goes up in the morning, and that'll help wake you up. So that's stimulated by the sunshine. So you wake up, the cortisol goes up, and then over the course of the day, it'll decrease so that you're sleepier at nighttime. Versus melatonin, which is your sleep hormone in the morning, with the exposure to daylight, melatonin should be very low during the day, so you're not sleepy. But as soon as the sun starts to set, that's when melatonin really shines. And melatonin increases until you're sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. And then again, in the morning, it goes down. So that's how your sleep cycles are. So it's really important to have that exposure to sunlight through the day so that you're setting your sleep cycles properly. So ideally, especially if you're in a climate where you can, go outside in the morning, sit in the sun at sunrise for a few minutes and let the sun hit your eyeballs and your skin so that you can start your day right and set your melatonin and cortisol levels right. And then in the evening, really paying attention to lowering the lights in your house. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But if you have too many bright lights, then your body kind of mistakens that maybe it's still daylight, so you don't have as much melatonin and you don't sleep as well. Okay, so sleep and your appetite. Sleep is very important for your appetite. So when people don't get enough sleep, they tend to gain more weight, they tend to have more cravings, they tend to eat more. And it's not just because you're up longer, so you have longer time to eat. It actually impacts the hormones in your body that control hunger and satiety. So ghrelin is the hormone, grr, like your stomach's growling. Ghrelin makes you hungry. So when you don't have enough sleep, your ghrelin goes up. So you're always hungry. But then your leptin, which is a hormone that tells you that I'm full, that goes down. So even after eating, you don't feel as satisfied because you're not sleeping enough, your leptin is down. Versus if you do get enough sleep, your ghrelin goes down, so you're not as hungry as much, you have a normal appetite, and your leptin is normal or higher, so that after you do eat, you do feel satisfied. So if you're not getting a minimum of 7 hours of sleep, you're going to naturally have more cravings and never feel satisfied after eating. So it's really important to get your sleep under control. And so this is just a little diagram showing the difference. Comparing like light bulbs with sunshine. So this is like the wavelengths of light during the daytime from sunshine, natural light. So lots of blue light here versus at sunset, the majority of the light is red light like here. But you'll see on the bottom, what we have in most of our homes now are LED lights, and from our devices, you'll see there's a lot of blue light, very similar to daylight. Versus incandescent lights, which in a lot of countries now, not incandescents. Yeah, incandescents, the old light bulbs, those are a little bit better actually because they are more red. They're actually more closer to actual sunlight, but nowadays we have LEDs, we have fluorescents, and it's a lot of this blue light. So if we're watching TV or having these bright LED lights at night, our body doesn't quite know, hey, is it sunset? Should I be making melatonin and going to sleep? So really at bedtime, we want to do our best to lower the lights. If you can actually buy like red light bulbs so that our sleep and our melatonin isn't as affected. And my favorite sleep tool and part of 2 levels of our program. So we have 3 different levels of our program, and 2 of them include this Oura ring, which is what I'm wearing now. That's my favorite sleep tool. So before I started the program, I always thought my sleep was wonderful. So if anyone asked me, hey Doris, how's your sleep? I'd be like, oh, it's great. I go to bed, I fall asleep right away. I wake up with lots of energy. But then I started using my ring and I realized, wait a second, I'm actually scrolling the internet a long time and I'm only sleeping like 5 hours. And there's like really neat graphs on the Oura ring in the app that show me how much deep sleep I'm getting, how much REM sleep I'm getting. It actually shows me how my sleep is and how much recovery or readiness I am the next day. And I was really surprised at the poor quality of my sleep. So with the tool and with the program itself, I was able to actually improve my sleep. So now I actually sleep very well. So this is Elise. She's a super busy business owner. She's also have difficulty losing weight. She's a body type A, which we will talk about later. And she was getting breathless, doing just basic activities, low energy, joint pain, skin issues, poor sleep, brain fog. And she lost 28 pounds in 6 weeks. And her skin is clear. She has more energy. Her brain fog is gone. And her sleep is fantastic every night. So you can see the change in her body composition. And this is her review. She doesn't know where to begin. I started this program August 17th, and she was struggling with her health, but in 7 weeks, released 28 pounds, and she's still releasing weight. Her skin is crystal clear, joints feel wonderful, no brain fog, etc. This program is truly so easy. Okay, so step 4, balancing your body type. So there's 4 main body types, and you can be one of these, or you can actually be a combination of these. But body type A is what we call high cortisol. So these people will tend to have weight gain around the abdomen, difficulty falling asleep, maybe slow to start in the morning. They really crave salty foods. They always feel wired or jittery, and they have trouble calming down. They might be afternoon, like headaches and yawning and always reaching for coffee in the afternoon, and chronic fatigue. And body type B is high estrogen. So these women will tend to have weight gain around their hips, their thighs, their buttocks. They have mood swings with their periods, breast tenderness with their periods. Their menstrual flow might be heavy. They might have endometriosis or fibroids, vaginal itchiness or dryness, hot flashes, gallbladder issues. So this is our high estrogen body type. Type C is our low thyroid body type, and thyroid is our gland that creates hormones, thyroid hormones that are responsible for metabolism. So people who are low thyroid body type have difficulty losing weight. They generally have weight gain all over the body. They can be mentally slow, sluggish, low motivation, have chronic constipation, excessive hair loss, easily fatigued and sleepy during the day. They have seasonal sadness, and they can be really sensitive to cold. And last is body type D, which is the liver body type. And this person would generally have more weight gain around the abdomen. They're easily intoxicated. There might be actually a history of drugs or alcohol use, a sensitivity to chemicals, sensitivity to tobacco smoke, pain under the right side of the rib cage where the liver is. They might have hemorrhoids or varicose veins. They might actually have a sensitivity to NutraSweet, and also chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. So it's important to know what your body type is, because it really helps us to zone in on what the root cause is and how we can help support you and how to optimize your results. So for the high cortisol person, how do we start to lower the cortisol? For the high estrogen, how do we help to lower the estrogen to normal levels? How do we help detox the estrogen and have estrogen metabolized properly? For the low thyroid, how do we help you support your thyroid health, make sure it's functioning optimally? And then for the liver body type, how do we support your liver health? How do we help you to support detox? So knowing your body type, whether you're a specific type or a mix of them, can be really helpful in figuring out how best to support your weight loss and your metabolic journey, as well as improving your symptoms and such. So type in the chat for me, what is your body type, A, B, C, or D? Okay, and then I do want to show you, so in our program, we do include this homeopathic metabolic reset spray. It's an important part of the program, actually, and we call this our HPA axis resetter. So again, that HPA axis is that stress axis, the control where your stress is. And essentially the HPA axis also regulates your metabolic function, your adrenal, your stress function, your thyroid, body temperature, appetite, your sex hormone. And without your HPA axis functioning optimally, you'll always be chasing your tail. So have you ever known anyone that they can really eat anything and they never gain weight? The reason why they don't gain weight is that their HPA axis is set to that body weight. So no matter what they eat or what they do, that HPA axis is set to that particular body weight. So it'll naturally try to tend to go back to that body weight. It'll fluctuate here and there, but it'll always kind of go back to that body weight. But sometimes, depending on the stress or inflammation or whatever is going on in your life, your HPA axis kind of is set to a different weight and it'll naturally go to that weight. So you're heavier. And again, we learned that when our hormones change during perimenopause and menopause, that HPA axis kind of changes and your weight changes. And then that's your new reset. So our homeopathic spray, which is an important part of our program, helps you to reset and it supports your weight loss journey to that new reset point. It also helps to reduce your cravings. It helps to calm your nervous system. So there's a whole bunch of homeopathic ingredients in this spray, which makes it an important part of our program. And I know, like even myself as a pharmacist, I'm always like poo-pooing the homeopathic medicine, etc. But honestly, it seems to work. So I highly recommend it. And that's why it's an important part of our program. Okay, so this is Christina. She's a 48-year-old perimenopausal female, and she's also a single mom with 3 kids. She's also a nutritionist, and she kind of gained lots of weight during the pandemic. She's a body type A and also living with eczema, so an autoimmune skin condition. Again, low energy, restless sleep. And with our program, she released 27 pounds in 10 weeks. She has more energy, she's sleeping better, her eczema has disappeared, her mood is better, and she has a much deeper connection with her 3 boys now because now she's not as irritable and snappy. So you can see the change in her body composition here. And her eczema is gone. I don't know if you can tell here in the top, you can see her I don't know if you can see, she's kind of red eczema on her face, and on the bottom she's cleared up. And same with her hands, the redness, irritation on one side, and then now it's cleared up. And again, she's got a much deeper connection with her kids. Okay, and then just another testimonial and another, you can see how much her body composition has changed. Okay, last step is number 5, identity and coachability. So this is also a very key step. And I'll just go to the next slide. Okay, so this is what we call our triad of health. So there's 3 really important things to have optimal health. So one is lifestyle. So that's, again, your food choices, sunlight, getting proper sleep. And then 2, your environment. So what's the lighting like and how that's impacting your sleep? What about people that you spend time with? Are you in supportive, nurturing relationships? But number 3 is this mindset and identity. So I really want you to have the mindset. Okay, let's start over again. Okay, so often I will hear people say things like, I can't do this. I have no willpower. I'm a snacker. I have a really hard time losing weight. So when you have these I statements, these negative statements, we kind of adopt those beliefs and we believe in those identities, and your brain will naturally validate. They'll always validate who we think we are and not who we actually are. So if you're always thinking that I can't do this, I'm a snacker, or even, oh, I'm really shy, then you'll always do things that align with that identity. So I want, and part of our program is we're going to help you shift that identity so that you can start doing activities that align with things. So instead of saying, I can't do this, we're going to teach you how to say, I am healthy. I make healthy choices. I'm in control. I'm vibrant and healthy. And these are the statements that you're going to live by. And we're going to teach you and guide you through recalibrating your identity so that you will be doing these things. And the other piece I kind of skipped over, identity and coachability. So any, say, pro sports person, anybody who's had any success in their field always has a mentor or a coach. So that's really important in guiding your journey, is having a coach, which will be me, but not just me, but also the community of people who are going to be doing this program with you. We're all together. So coaching, community, accountability are also keys to your success. So one of the things in studies that show that are really helpful for weight loss is having a community, having other people to be accountable, to support you. And that's something that's also included in our program. We have a community, you have a coach, and we will guide you through this and make sure that you are successful. Okay, so the research shows that having a supportive community improves weight loss outcomes. Okay, sorry, I'm almost running out of time. So I'll be wrapping up soon, but just this is a summary of what we covered today. Step 1 is to regulate your nervous system. Step 2 is to make sure you're eating nutrient-dense foods and compressing your eating window. Step 3, circadian rhythm and sleep, so making sure you get enough sleep. Step 4, knowing your body type, A, B, C, or D, and resetting that HPA axis to a new weight. Step 5, changing or recalibrating your identity and being open to coaching and community. So those are 5 really important parts of our Living Light program. There are other things that we also focus on, but these are the 5 most important ones that you could start doing today. Okay, so now that you have the 5 steps, you might be wondering, how can I get the same results as Elise and Dana, and how can we work together? So let me give you some clarity on what you can do as your next steps to be like them and permanently and quickly lose weight so you can create the vibrant, healthy, and happy life of your dreams. So first of all, I want you to schedule a 45-minute wellness discovery call. So on this call, we will have a good conversation about all the health challenges that you're facing, what you've tried in the past and it hasn't worked, what your health goals are. And then we will determine if working together is the right next step for you. And if you are ready to take action, that'll put you in the fast lane for substantial weight loss, a lot of energy, and a notable increase in your confidence levels, I promise you. So make sure you schedule a complimentary call today. And as part of the discovery call, you're going to be filling out a very comprehensive root cause assessment form. And so I'm going to gain a lot of insight to what's going on. And hopefully, so we'll talk about the body types and sort of guide you through how we can help you lose weight. And this call is for any of you who've tried everything to release the weight but have had little or no results. And it's for anyone who wants to learn a healthy and sustainable way to release weight. And if you've had any difficulty losing weight, or you have energy problems, poor sleep, imbalanced hormones, pain, arthritis, high blood pressure, diabetes, anything, this call is for you. And if you're actually willing to invest in yourself and take action, it's for you. I really don't want to talk to anyone who's not ready to make a change, or if they only want to do this to fit into a dress for a party, and then after that, they're just going to go back to all their old habits. I really don't want that. I want you to be willing to invest time and energy in yourself and carry that through for the rest of your life. And this call is for any of you who feel worthy of having the health and body that you've dreamed of. Okay, again, this is not for you. Please don't reach out if you're looking for a quick temporary solution. If you're not coachable and you don't want to grow, you're not committed, okay? And you're not ready to make healthier choices and you don't want to change any of your eating habits, call me when you're ready. Okay, so if you're ready to say goodbye to 15, 20, 30 pounds of weight, if you want to say goodbye to low energy, poor sleep, cravings, hormonal imbalances, tasteless diet foods, intense workouts, yo-yo dieting, etc., give me a call. Okay, so how to schedule. Step 1, click on the link in the chat and you can book a call. And then once you get to that page, just choose whether you want to meet me by phone or video. I usually prefer video or Zoom because I like to at least see who I'm talking to. Choose a date and time, and then you put in your name, phone number, email, fill out the intake form, and then you confirm. Okay, and then basically, I think that's pretty much it. Let me see. I still have a few more slides, but basically, you might be thinking, I've already tried everything. I don't have time to be healthy. I'm so tired. I don't have willpower. Being healthy is expensive. What if this doesn't work? Again, we want to recalibrate your thinking, first of all, but in response to any of these doubts, we've really got you covered, okay? If you say you don't have time, really our process is designed to fit into things that you're already doing. If you're already eating dinner, we're just going to teach you how to eat nutrient-dense, proper dinner, picking the right foods. Energy, I don't have energy to do this. By doing this program, you're going to get more energy. A willpower, I don't have the willpower, I can't do this. We will be creating the perfect environment for you to have the willpower to heal and create better habits. Accountability, I'm going to be here to cheer you on. The community will be here to cheer you on. Money, our programs are really designed to pay for themselves over and over again. So you go through our program, you get healthy, you're saving money on hospital visits, doctor visits, medications, supplements. In the long run, you're really going to save money. And the results, if we do accept you into the program, I really do stand by our services. And if you do all of the steps in the program, you're going to lose weight and have results. And if you don't, then you will get your money back. Okay, and again, we already talked about what you're going to get out of the program. Safe and rapid weight loss. You're going to look and feel the best you ever felt, more energy, better digestion. Main side effect is you'll probably have to buy new clothes and you'll feel more confident, more peaceful. You might even have less blood sugar and blood pressure medications. And I'm not really going to go through this, but basically the 6 weeks is when you gradually lose the weight. And then at 6 to 10 mark, after the 6 weeks, the rest of the 4 weeks, we put you into maintenance mode to help you transition to how you're going to eat the rest of your life. Okay, and the value of action versus the cost in action. So if you join us right now, your health is just going to gradually continue to improve, right? Yay! But if you say, okay, I can't do it now, I'm going to wait. So in a year, the health difference will be this. In 3 years, you still don't want to do it. This is going to be the health difference. So instead of working this hard to get to this level, you now have to work extra hard and you feel even worse right now to get to this level. So the more time that you put off doing action, you're going to be feeling worse and it's going to be harder and harder to get better. So really, if you feel you want to make a change now, I encourage you to do it now, especially because the cost of inaction, if we don't work towards losing weight or improving our metabolic health, you can end up with high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune disease, cancer, high cholesterol, and you might already have these things. So ideally, we want to prevent it. If you do have these conditions, we want to improve it. Okay, and this is another quote from another client. This person is day 8, released 5 pounds. Other than being uncomfortable during the 2 days of loading. So loading is the first 2 days of the program where we actually make you eat a ton of food. I have felt well and I'm adjusting to the schedule and food choices. Okay. All right, let's skip that. So anyways, I would really love to hear from you. Schedule a call. You use this link to schedule a call. Your future self will thank you. And just as a special bonus, I do have, if you are having issues with your energy, I have a free e-guide, 25 strategies to increase your energy. I'll put in the chat the link. You can download this booklet and it's got a lot of little tips, 25 little tips to help you improve your energy naturally. And then one more bonus. I usually actually do charge for the 45-minute wellness discovery call. I charge $49 for that. But because you're here, if you use the code 49OFF, that will be a complimentary call. So you won't lose anything and you'll probably learn something during the call. So please reach out. And that is it. If you have any questions, put it in the chat, or I'll stop recording and you can ask me. Again, the doctor of the future is you. Your doctor, I'm here to guide and support you and teach you how to support your body and thrive. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and I'd love to hear from you.